As always, nothing that you're about to hear is financial advice, it's purely educational. So recently, something very special and unique appeared in the world of Ordinals. Legacy sats. And for those of you that know me, you know I love the crypto culture and I love Bitcoin. And legacy sats combine both of those things. Let me explain. If this is the first time that you're hearing about rare sats, checking out the Magic Eden marketplace can feel quite overwhelming. I suggest you go to my highlights section on X and check out the Roads to Runes video. It'll bring you up to speed in no time. But by now, most of you will probably be familiar with the basic rarity levels of sats. We've got common sats, we've got uncommon sats, we've got rare sats, we've got epic sats, we've got legendary sats, and we have the one and only mythical Satoshi from the Genesis block. But that's not nearly all of them. We have something else in the world of rare sats, and we call them exotics. There are palindrome sats, basically meaning the numbers read the same back and forth. Block 9 sats, which are the oldest Satoshis in circulation. Alpha sats, which are the first sats in each Bitcoin. Omega sats, which are the last in each Bitcoin. Pizza sats from the famous 10K pizza transaction. You get the point. Essentially, rare sats are a unique commentary of time within the Bitcoin blockchain. This is why they hold value for collectors to begin with. And this brings us to legacy sats. Now, legacy sats are not alpha, they're not omega, they are not palindrome, they are not rare, uncommon, epic, legendary. They are more than that. Legacy sats are the first version of Ordinals. And this is where things get really interesting. In 2022, and half a year before Ordinals even were a thing, Casey Roth, the brain behind Ordinal theory and runes, held a workshop. Only 41 people attended this workshop. Now, every attendee got a piece of paper with a QR code printed on top. Once scanned, 10,000 sats were to be redeemed. Those sats are today's legacy Satoshis. 50% of them didn't pay attention to those legacy sats. Something similar happened with Chromie Squiggles back in the day at the Lenovo Tile Festival. 2,000 of them were given out and only 14 people redeemed their Chromie Squiggles using an Ethereum address, and we all know how that turned out. I'm just saying, legacy sats give a pretty similar vibe. Luckily for us, this is all traceable on the blockchain. And all of those 41 transactions lead straight back to Casey. So why is this such a big deal? Besides the cultural aspect, which is huge in my opinion, they are incredibly rare. Only 160,000 legacy sats are currently in circulation. But there was one team that saw where this was going before anyone else. Not only were they the first to ever inscribe anything on a legacy Satoshi, they were the first to inscribe an entire 10K collection on legacy sats. Just for context, this would be incredibly expensive today. One legacy Satoshi is roughly priced at $500 to the time of this recording. Inscribing an entire 10K collection would at least cost $5 million or 80 Bitcoin, which is nuts. And one of the reasons why I personally think we will never see something like this again. The project I'm talking about is Inc. Not only did they acquire 30,000 legacy sats in total, they also spent a lot of money and effort trying to split them. And this transaction didn't go unnoticed by the Bitcoin OGs. This is how Mononaut put it. The majority of this block is occupied by a giant web of transactions grinding a single 10,000 sat UTXO down into individual Satoshis and then weaving them into 10K separate dust-sized outputs. Now the crazy part is, Inc. minted at 0.0058 Bitcoin, meaning they basically covered the costs of one legacy Satoshi, which is wild to think about. So recently I've seen a bunch of FUD regarding Inc. on my timeline, and I stayed quiet and I observed. And listen, it's not my place to tell you what to think. I respect each and every one of you and your opinions, but let me propose a different perspective. If we buy Ordinals, first and foremost, we are buying rare sats. The JPEGs inscribed are an added bonus. Inscriptions can be pre-runed utilities, memberships, artwork, music, like all of it. But without rare sats and the parent inscriptions, their provenance would be meaningless. This is also the reason why projects like On-Chain Monkeys, Oni Fallen, or the Bitcoin Hounds put so much time, effort, and attention towards their parent inscriptions and the rare sats for their respective 10K collections. In most cases, unless something extremely unique is being inscribed, the provenance will always return to the parent inscription and rare sats. So obviously, as soon as I had the chance, I needed to sit down with the team and ask them from where they had this insane foresight. This is what Steven, one of the co-founders, and Tim, the person who is actually responsible for getting those legacy sats, had to say.
I remember watching Casey's video and being like, damn, like I really need to get one of those paper wallets. Right? I didn't even like rare sats were, I mean, he talked about rare sats, but I didn't really, understand or care about them at the time. And then I just wanted like that paper wallet because it really reminds me of the Lost Robbies story on Ethereum, how everybody threw them away and that people didn't really value what was given to them. And so this was kind of had some similar aspects to that. From there, I was just like always trying to keep an eye out. There was a conversation that was going on by Drop Lister. So Dan Anderson is what he goes by on there, right, from the Dan files. I just dropped a line there. I was like, man, I'd really love to get one of these, wallets, right? And so he reached out to me and we just started talking from there. And he put us in contact with a friend that actually was at that event. He was smart enough to recognize the importance of what was going on. So we scooped up as many wallets as he could. At a minimum, there's 160,000 circulating. At a maximum, there'll be 430,000.
He was hunting for us. Like, he was hunting for us.
And your main priority was like always legacy sats.
Yeah, like if we could have one, like that was the one. Because the neat thing about legacy sats is, to me at least, is that like without that conference, there's no ordinals. Like without these, there's no numbering system to even identify the other rare sats. You know what I mean? Like it's like prehistoric.
So as always, and in full transparency, I own Ordinals and I own legacy sats. And I wasn't whitelisted, I wasn't gifted anything, I wasn't involved in any pre-sale or something. I bought them on secondary. Before you ape, just a word of advice, please don't treat this like a utility play. I'm not saying Inc. is not going to see any future utility, but owning the legacy sat and the artwork inscribed is the utility. And in my humble opinion, a provenance play like this doesn't come along too often. So obviously I needed to support this commentary of time. Stay safe and I'll see you soon.